Hey juniors, Mr. Piazza here calling in from Houston, Texas right now. Um, Going to explain what you need to do to create a strong final draft of your writing task, which will be due this Wednesday. If you're not going to the trip on Friday, hopefully you have some time to work on this today and maybe even get a chance to finish so that you're done before you leave for the weekend. I want to give you some ideas for how you can go from the first part we did, which was our pre-write, and turn this into a strong final draft. So I'm going to give you some ideas that I'm going to ask you to actually write down on your final draft sheet, which you should have. And this should help you come up with ideas for what you need to put in each paragraph of your essay. So if you look at my pre-write, you see that this is exactly what you had, except it's missing all the lines that were on the graphs. And that's actually a good thing because that's going to help me explain what I really wanted you to use this for in your essay. So if we do this one paragraph at a time, the first paragraph, or the first bit of your essay is definitely going to be an introduction, just explaining what you're doing here. And what we're doing here is answering the question, what is slope and how do you find it? Then the first body paragraph should correspond with the first question in your pre-write. And in the first question, it's asking you to find the slope of the line, and it's asking how you would do it with the counting method. A lot of students looked at that line and they found the slope as having a rise of 4, a run of 2, and then they said, I found the rise of 4, I found the run of 2, and then I found the slope. They're explaining how you found the slope of that one line. What I'm really looking for is how do you find the slope of any line? And then you can use this one as an example. So for paragraph 1, the question is, how do you find the slope of a line using the counting method? So your explanation should be for any line, no matter which one it was. What would you do first? What would you do? What would do second? What would you do third? Feel free to use the line that you have on your writing task as an example though. So you can say, for example, if I had this line and I started at this point, this is what I would do. But still you should be able to tell me generally, how do you find the slope of a line using the counting method? The second paragraph should correspond to this question, which had find the slope of these two lines. You had two different lines here, and I drew a bicycle on them. And the reason I drew a bicycle on them is because I think if you found the slope of these two lines, you notice the slopes are different, and that told you something about the meaning of slope. And I can't tell you what it tells you because I'd be giving it away. But the question you should write and be able to answer in paragraph 2 is, what is one thing you know about the meaning of slope? These two graphs help highlight something that we've learned about slope in this unit. The third question should correspond to this third question here, which asks you to find the slope of the line that you saw between points AB and points BC. And there's something I wanted you to understand by finding the slope of the same line. And so the question you should be able to answer in paragraph 3 is, what is one thing you know about the slope of a single line? That's something you should be able to figure out based on what you found out between the slope of AB and the slope of BC. The fourth thing, you had 4 different graphs, you needed to find the slope of each one. And I'm not really so focused on what the slope is, whether it's 1 or 1/2 or -1 or -1/2, but you should see that there's 4 different types. And so what paragraph 4 should be is, what does each type of slope look like? That's something that those 4 graphs should help you answer. Then the last paragraph should be answering this question 5, which is how would you find the slope using not the counting method, but the slope formula. So the last question for the last paragraph is, how do you find the slope of a line using the slope formula? You can definitely use this as an example and explain how you found the slope between these 2 points, but remember, you're telling me how you would do that generally for if I gave you any 2 points. And so that's your essay. You start with an introduction, you answer this first question, how do you find the slope of a line using the counting method? What is one thing you know about the meaning of slope? What is one thing you know about the slope of a single line? What does each type of slope look like? how do you find the slope of a line using the slope formula, and then you close. That should be your essay. A lot of it is just kind of connecting to something you already did in this pre-write. And then you should be able to submit your answers online. So I'm going to have a form where you'll be able to submit your answers. Feel free to email me if you have any questions. Good luck.